Joining me in studios, of course, these celebrations were not just for yesterday, and I know in South Africa they actually have been going on longer than just this week. Joining me in studio is the PRO of MultiChoice Uganda, and that is Tina Wamala. Good morning.
Morning, Flavia.
Yes, you were so engrossed in Yvonne Chaka Chaka's interview.
I was in awe of everything she was saying. Very elaborate. She has experienced apartheid. She has experienced post-apartheid. She is the true epitome of a reformed South African, reformed African, and she's done so much for the continent. If I'm not mistaken, she's a UNICEF ambassador, she's a UN ambassador, a champion for children.
I'm telling you, she's an activist in so many places. And I've actually said, I was telling my colleagues that Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Brenda Fassie, the late,
Lucky
Makeba, Lucky Dube, are the names that were so strong in the fight for apartheid.
Absolutely.
Against apartheid, sorry. And actually, they were the voices.
Absolutely.
They sang songs for the people. They gave hope to the people. And so for me, it makes sense that at such a time, we have Yvonne Chaka Chaka in Uganda.
She is a befitting person to come and celebrate a legacy, 100 years of an amazing icon, the right person basically to bring the celebrations, to bring the commemorations to life within this important week.
Someone asked me a question yesterday when they were hearing, Obama give speeches and say all the great things, and they said, I wonder what Nelson Mandela, if he was alive, would think about the Africa today. Well,
okay, well, that's a very tricky one. It's a very tricky one because everybody has their opinions on democracy, issues of democracy, issues of leadership, and countries differ. And with us, it's also in a unique situation. Yes. But the struggle and the fight continues.
Yes, but I think he would have. He would be 100, so I don't think he would have issues. So let's just go with that one. But MultiChoice Uganda, I mean, we need to also remember that MultiChoice has a big part of its footing in South Africa.
Absolutely.
So this relationship is quite important. And I know there's so many celebrations that MultiChoice might be carrying out in South Africa.
Absolutely.
But what's the story for Uganda?
Well, for us, I think, one I said earlier, he's an African icon. He is a world global icon.
Yes.
He impacted every single one of us. He instilled hope. He instilled the importance of equality. He instilled the importance of human rights, the things we stand for and the things we fight for every single day we wake up in the morning. That is what he represented. And to us, he represented a change, a shift in culture, a shift in thinking, a shift in everything that we do. And for us, 100 years, yes, is a huge milestone. But I think we need to emulate what he stood for. Every single one of us as human beings need to emulate what he stood for. Kindness, forgiveness, reconciliation. Reconciliation. I mean, there's so many things he stood for. And that's what we need to also live by. And this week, in as much as it's 100 years, I think it should be a continuous journey.
Definitely. It doesn't
and
stop
a continuous process where we tell ourselves or say to ourselves, we're going to make a difference, a positive difference in the world. We are going to be kind to our fellow man. We are going to reconcile. We're not going to be about discrimination, segregation. We are going to actually live by equality and what it means.
Okay, so there was yesterday there was a celebration. Maybe just talk to us about generally what is in store for the week.
The week has been, like you said, jam-packed, but actually the events or activities started even as early as last week, like you said, with Barack Obama's lecture on Nelson Mandela, his life, his legacy, the life and times, and what it means for us today.
Yes.
Following that, in Uganda, together with the High Commission of South Africa, in Uganda, we decided that we're going to have a series of activities to mark this great milestone and the legacy that Nelson Mandela stood for. We began with a press conference on Monday, where we're just telling people, look, the great icon of Nelson Mandela will be celebrating, had he been still alive, 100 years on the 18th of July, which was yesterday. And yesterday we had a series of CSR activities because he was about giving back, he was about charity, he was about concern for the disadvantaged and the needy. So we decided to use those things that he stood for and do something for our own community. We began with painting a school in the neighboring Boyogere area.
Okay.
So we painted a school that's really dilapidated, you know, in need of a lot of rescue. So as partners, MultiChoice, High Commissioner, and other FOSABO members, South African companies operating in Uganda, we came together and said, look, let's, you know, do something for the school. Then we also went ahead and had a number of sporting activities. So we got the kids from different schools, Chitezi Primary School, Boyogere Muslim School, and we asked them to come and compete in a fun soccer competition. And they did an amazing job. We had different activities like tug of war. Then we went into tree planting because, you know, the environment, very important. So we planted trees, and some of the trees that are planted at Nambole Stadium, Nelson Mandela Stadium, as we speak, we're going to dedicate a shade or an area which we're going to name the Nelson Mandela Shade, which is befitting in the Nelson Mandela Stadium. And of course, we're going to have very many other trees that we're going to plant throughout the city to commemorate, to commemorate his life, and so that the longevity that is realized through this tree planting. And then, of course, we unveiled the exciting concert that we have tomorrow. Yvonne Chaka Chaka was there to basically inform the public about her plans, her charity work that she's done over the last couple of years. And tomorrow at the Serena, as she said earlier, there's going to be a charity concert alongside local artists to raise funds for street kids, to raise funds for a home or school for street kids in Uganda, which is an amazing thing, because everything we are doing is in line with what Nelson Mandela stood for. He's about charity. And then on Saturday, the Rotary Club of Sese Islands is going to have a family fun day at Kaza Grounds. That's on Entebbe Road. Picnic style, informal, lots of artists, lots of fun and games. Again, to
Children's
celebrate
Day, so
Children's Day, a family fun day, exactly. And that will wind up our activities for the week. But it's not just about the week, Flavia. It's about, like I said, it's every day. It has to keep going. It's every day. In as much as yesterday was his birthday, would have marked his birthday, yes. The important thing to note is, what did we get from him? What did we learn from Nelson Mandela?
And I was saying that over the years, people have been saying on his birthday, we go and give food to the disadvantaged. We go and you know, as I said, plant trees or do this. And then once the birthday has ended, after those hours, people move on.
Exactly, but that's exactly what we're trying to fight against. We're telling people there is something each and every one of us learnt from the legacy of Nelson Mandela. We got something from what he stood for, what he believed. Let's get something. Even if you get a 10th, Flavia, you'll be a much better person than what you are right now.
Definitely. So that's from, well, you started yesterday and we'll go till Saturday.
Precisely.
But I know that there's also a dedicated channel.
Yes.
Was it just for yesterday?
No, so what we've done is DStv. We've launched a dedicated pop-up channel, which began yesterday on his birthday, 18th of July. It's a 5-day pop-up channel till 22nd of July. Now, the beauty with the channel is, one, it cuts across all our packages or bouquets. So regardless of whether you're on access or premium, you will actually watch it on channel 199. Now, the channel shows documentary series. It shows, it even shows new documentaries, because I'm sure we've watched very many documentaries
about his life, about his leadership,
about Nelson Mandela. But now we have fresh content of even post, you know, his passing. We have interviews with family, interviews with people he used to work with, his secretary who he was very close to. We have movies, and we never get tired of them, because the movies are extremely inspirational, extremely inspirational. So we have movies that were made about Nelson Mandela showing on that channel for the next 5 days. So we have movies like Long Walk to Freedom, which Idris Elba played as Nelson Mandela. We have movies like Invictus with Morgan Freeman. So, I mean, yes, the documentaries, the real life, the interpersonal understanding of who he was, who he interacted with, you're going to see that, but then also the movies to inspire you. But most importantly, like I keep on emphasizing, Flavia, draw the inspiration, get the inspiration from whatever you're going to be watching or seeing within this week, and use it.
Let me ask you, because at the end of the day, even if he was he is a global,
Yes.
you know, leader. Do you feel like, fast forward to 2018,
Yeah.
we have such a deficit? Like, he can't just have been one man. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we can't, fast forward 2018, still sing about the one man. We need to sing his praises because he did
Yes.
something. But
Yes.
do you feel like we're not having the culture of putting up leaders who we're going to celebrate over time, whether they're young leaders or older leaders, where you're doing things selflessly? Because I think that was probably one thing to describe
Yes.
the late Nelson Mandela: selfless.
Yes.
It's not really for me. I will do it because children,
Yes.
grandchildren,
Yes.
great-grandchildren,
Yes.
next generation.
Yes.
Do you think we have a deficit of just that?
I think we have a problem. We need, like you rightly said, we need to celebrate our heroes. We need to celebrate our leaders. We need to celebrate the humane or humanity that comes out of different people.
Yes.
Heroes are labeled in different ways. Heroes come out in different ways. We all define heroes differently. But you are a hero. I am a hero. We are all heroes. Yeah, but I think we just need to step a little bit more out of what we do, the ordinary things that we do, step out of our comfort zones and do much, much more. There are many inspirational stories we read out there in the papers, watch on TV, and you're just in awe and you're like, why can't this person be elevated to the status
so that you
of
have
hero?
a 1,000,001 Nelson Mandelas, and we have
Exactly.
a young population anyway.
So we can.
So we need someone to meet us when we are that age, to be and look back and say, oh, that was our Nelson Mandela, that was our this and that. So perhaps maybe that's what's missing. It's not that they're not there, as you say. It's
We just need to highlight them.
We need to celebrate them a bit more. 100 years. Yesterday, the late Nelson Mandela would have, well, turned 100
years.
And we're using his legacy to celebrate him. And as you've heard, there's that pop-up channel. Just in case you're not so familiar with the entire story of the late Nelson Mandela, maybe that'll be a chance for you to check the documentaries. If you understand better with movies, it's allowed. You can check out any of those movies. I still feel like the best person, I'm Tom in between Idris Elba and
Morgan Freeman.
No, Morgan Freeman. There's a guy who's in Empire. Crap, I don't know how I forgot that.
The name, huh?
Yes, but between
The
Idris
two.
Elba and who portrayed Nelson Mandela best?
I had issues with Idris Elba's accent. Honestly, I love the movie.
Yeah. And he's a great
Undisputed,
actor.
he is.
He's a great actor.
But the accent just didn't come out for me.
Yes.
But I did enjoy the movie. I
Yes.
absolutely, because it was more about the judicial
Yes.
process that he experienced. I loved Invictus because, you know, maybe because I'm a sports fan and all that stuff, but I loved Morgan Freeman's portrayal better. And I think he looks more like him.
Yes. And he's a bit calm.
Yes.
So
he looks more like
that
him.
Makes sense.
That's, you know, everything about him.
This is me trying to get you the name of that actor. Terrence Howard.
Yes, finally.
I think he might have tried.
Yes.
I think,
yes.
to be honest,
he tried.
He actually tried.
A little bit better. A little bit better than Idris Elba. The accent.
Yeah. But I had to say that because I was saying that I think times have also changed.
Yes.
The next couple of movies to highlight, be it Nelson Mandela or any other leader, people are going to look to African actors and actresses.
Absolutely.
Because I think they've started to see the value of using our very own.
We do accents better. I think we acclimatize better.
Yeah.
We adapt better. It's not easy to adapt an accent.
The next Wakanda needs like 30 Ugandans.
You know.
I'm just saying. Thank you so much, Tina Wamala,
Thank
from
you, Flavia.
MultiChoice Uganda. Of course, the legacy is still continuing. The concert is tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, Serena
at the
Hotel.
Serena. So you can, I think, pass by the Serena if you want tickets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to get that and celebrate with Yvonne Chaka Chaka as you contribute to Shule as they support literacy for children off the streets. That's it for Morning at NTV. Have a good day.